So this video is all about power. When is it not about power? Restoration of power, reclamation of power, coming into the oneness. I mean, where we are right now, we are at the pinnacle of just stepping into that oneness, being pushed through the portal. It's happening. It really is happening. You know, as that oneness wisdom comes in, as that reclamation of power comes in, yeah, there's a little bit of distortion here, there, and everywhere, which I'm going to talk about in this video. But it's now is the time. You know, now is the time to start actioning things. Now is the time that we are actually stepping into our fullness and our wholeness, and we are ready to kind of go and get stuck in. So in light of that, just a couple of service announcements. I want to talk to you about the Hecker codes. Okay, my Hecker codes sessions are 3 sessions, and it's like a little bit of a mentorship. Activation of your alchemy abilities and power, bringing your blueprint online. Also getting your own kind of like a channeled meditation, especially for you, for your frequency. So those are tools that you can work with. But anyway, it's a very, very cool, powerful experience with me, the Hecker codes. I have 1 space left before I disembark from all of this and I take my tour to Egypt. So if that is where you're feeling you're at right now and you want to dive in, 1 space left, get in touch. The second is indeed the Tablets of Light tour. That portal is open now and we leave, well, we start on the 27th of April. Many have kind of got the last minute download that they need to go. So that's what's happening. That might be you. If it's not for the 27th of April now and you're actually feeling it down the line, well, the bookings for 2024 are already open. So please get in touch with that and let's have a conversation and get you set into the Egypt frequency so you can start stepping into your space between now and April next year, which is not that far away. So anyway, those are my 2 public announcements. Now I'm going to go into what's been going on for us to be able to come into this reclamation of power and this wholeness, right? So a lot of like crossing the T's and dotting the I's, as I called it the other day. Ancestral healing is just ridiculously off the chain right now. I mean, it is just, it's so much coming through. And I sat in a medicine ceremony on Wednesday on the 22 portal. And what was quite powerful in my family dynamic, because I was sitting with my husband and my son. And it was this divine feminine from the ancestors, the wounding. So much anger, so much sadness and sorrow. And I was purging that for the men in my family that couldn't reach it themselves. And there was a lot of anger with that as well. So this is what's kind of coming through in the process of coming into oneness. There is also a stimuli or a stimulant of this kind of like anger, frustration, and deep sadness and sorrow and grief of the divine feminine. Okay, so that was immediately in my family. Now, on the bigger picture, you know, beyond medicine ceremonies, there is a lot of grief. There is a lot of sadness. There is, you know, you kind of like feeling like as this old timeline falls away, there's kind of like, even though it's been full of dark nights in the soul and pretty gritty, there's almost like it's what we've always known. And we're kind of like, well, a bit sad to let that go. Some of you may not be. You might be like, woo, happy days. But deep down, I think that there is kind of like a sentimental purge of what has fallen away. So be gentle with that. Be present with that, you know. So ancestry healing, really, really big. Now, with all, I see I'm jumping around in this video because there's just so many diverse subject matters when it comes to coming into this wholeness. So just work with me here. So then the next thing on my list here that I've written is all about protecting your energy. Okay, so I want to now talk to each and every one of you as the Starseeds Way show, as we're all moving in the right direction. Where we're all going is to oneness. This is why we're here. We all have the same agenda, focus, end game, right? So basically, what we need to do is really stay off social media. Even though I'm posting to you on social media, like we need to actually take a step back and understand, right? Shit's got really real, okay? And I'm not doing fear-mongering or scare factor or like, you need to go out and protect your energy and there's dark forces everywhere. Even though there kind of is, but I don't believe in any of that. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like Sekhmet on vibes, like just the whole way. And I just think any shadow that comes at you, it's your own. And, you know, you just need to integrate that. You know what I mean? So when we look at the world and all this chaos going on, right? You know, so I love TikTok, but I've had to come off it. I've had to come off it because every time I look at at it, it used to be full of funny cats and silly dog videos, because that's why I used to go on there, because it used to make me laugh. The very smallest, most immature things make me laugh a lot. And like now I've gone on there, it's all full of like all sorts of shit that I just don't even want to look at it. And I find myself getting sucked into it. And then the next day I'll feel myself vibrating it, like, feel a bit small and feel a bit anxious. And I'm like, it's this bloody TikTok. So what happens is you get really involved and you're like, oh my God, like this person's having an issue with that person. And like, how bad like, are these governments? And even here in South Africa, the government spent all the money and we got no electricity. And I find myself looking at endless videos going, yeah, this is really wrong. Now, straight away, they've got me distracted. Now I'm not on that vibration. I'm somewhere else. And I look at it and I go, I'm a bit bloody tired now, a bit energy drained. So they've zapped me. All of this satanic stuff out there, crazy guys dressing up in red outfits and singing at the Grammys. I mean, God, what's happened to the world? The world has gone mad. But anyway, you look at that, and the more we invest our energy in that and go, oh my God, did you see Sam Smith? He's just like outrageous with his devil horns. The more we do that, the more that those energies invest in, like, they take our energy. Because if we're focusing on something, we're feeding it, right? That's what they want. So all of this drama where they're shocking us and going, look at this, what do you think of that? And all of us are going, oh, that's so bad. You know what I mean? That's energy. So we're basically feeding into it. So shit has got real meaning. We have to be so vigilant with our energy right now. We are at war. I mean, we are at war. We're at war within ourselves, between our heads and our hearts. The world is at war as well, because we have unconsciously manifested a world which is displaying all of this negative shit. But you know what? Here's a point. That's really cool, because it just shows us how powerful we are at manifesting. So like, it's amazing. So which means like we need to flip it and reverse it. There's hope for the world and there's hope for us, that we need to now consciously manifest. We need to be conscious creators, not unconscious creators. Now, fear is untapped power. And there is a shit ton of fear all over the world. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot today. Apologies. But anyway, there is so much fear all over the world, right? So fear is untapped power. So imagine the potential that we've got going on. So anyway, I just wanted to put that on your radar, but just be super vigilant as to where you're watching, because it's very subtle. You start to just go over like that, and we ain't got time for that, because our star seeds hasn't come to do that kind of jive. All right, so like, we keep it vibey, we keep it happy, watch videos of Marie, and and like, keep it clean. If you do want to go on social media, just try and maybe search for the funny dogs and cats, and then maybe your algorithms will change. So anyway, that's that. So now moving into the goddess part of ourselves. All right, so as I say, I'm jumping around with this video quite a bit because it's just in list form. The goddess part of ourselves, the final push, we are getting to the final place now, the final integration of our energy, okay? Now, I'm going to share my story with you, and I don't care if you're a dude, because you also have a goddess energy. That is the feminine, soft part of you. This is the part that needs to heal. So I go back to my mushroom journey. I was the one that was crying and kind of like releasing the grief and the sadness of the divine feminine ancestors from my husband's side, because he was too locked down and too stuck in his masculine to be able to bring his grandmother through. So she came through me and I just cried a whole lot. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it is for the guys as well, probably even more so, that we need to acknowledge that the goddess wants to come home. So remember, guys, you're a guy, you're a goddess and you're a god. Whereas us women, we are gods and we're goddesses. That's union, right? That's the balance. So that softness has got to come in now. And there is some wounding. There's a final part of each and every one of us that is experiencing a wounding. Now, I know that I've had it, because I've always felt like it's that itch I can't scratch. It's that final thing that I can't bring in. And I've always known I've had it, and I didn't know what it was, but it's now revealing itself. But what I can tell you is, my husband is obviously my twin flame, but any sacred counterpart relationship, they are mirrors. Doesn't matter what. The whole world is a mirror to you. So I am being mirrored all the time about, like, how, I judge my husband. I'm like, didn't go to the gym today. You know what I mean? You didn't do this. You didn't do that. So I am outwardly pouring my judgment to him all the time, but he is reflecting back me. So if I'm judging and rejecting him and his ideals and what he's all about, and he's just like, in my eyes, just not doing a great job, then obviously I'm rejecting that part of me as well. So if I am rejecting I'm rejecting something inside of me, which essentially right now is this last goddess part, which is my power. Same with you. You're going to have a last piece of you that actually, which is so interesting, even though you've got all of these different kind of like energy shadow issues in your life, you're like, yeah, I'm not very good with money. And oh my God, I want to do this. And I've got that pain there. This part I'm talking about is the umbrella to all of those parts. So stop putting out fires to all these little things, because this big thing that I'm talking about, the reason why you judge out there, it's a deflection. So you don't bring this in here. So we need to hone in on that bit. We need to find out what's the pain there. What happened? Do you know what I mean? What happened for your goddess energy to break away? What was the nut in the gut there? What happened there? Because that little chunk of thing that is coming back to you is attached to all of the other million problems you have in your life. So you're busying yourself putting out fires over here when just go straight to the one thing. Or if you don't know what it's all about, just focus on it, because it's being brought home anyway, regardless. So where you reject and you repulse in your energy, going, yeah, I don't want to go there. Don't want to go there. Absolutely not. Because it's perceived to be too painful, but it's actually not. But if you kind of just work with your guides, with spirit, and just keep gently every time before you go to sleep, best time before you go to sleep, because when you astral travel, you drop the body, you're out the way of yourself. It just happens. You receive your most powerful healing when you're sleeping. So do it that way, you know? So that's something very interesting, which I believe is going to come back home by the end of March. Give it a timeline. I feel that that's where we're working towards, and that's the final reclamation of power. But we can't be angry and ragey at the divine masculine like I was the other day, because like, you know, so you see the two go hand in hand. But don't get your head too twisted up in it. Just understand that if this is resonating with you, well, this is what I think is going on, right? So I also want to bring in Ma'at. Okay, Ma'at is, let me show you here. Can you see here? Ma'at, she has a feather. I think I've shown her to you before. Okay, she looks like Isis though. She's got the same Isis wings. Can you see her there? She's got the same Isis wings. And she can be easily confused, but she has the feather, the cosmic truth. Okay, Ma'at is cosmic truth. She has balance, order, justice. I also chuck in reconciliation, because that's for me where she comes from. Now, she is the goddess that all the pharaohs lived by, Ma'at. And the other morning I woke up and she was channeling through me. I was actually sleeping and I was just coming out of my dream, and she was just channeling all the way through me. And she was just telling me, live by my 42 commandments. You know what I mean? Like, this is it now. And that's all. There's no messing around. You're either with me, you are either living by Ma'at or you're not. Okay. And if you're not, pull your socks up and get there. You know what I mean? And address everything on the list, of which there's 42 laws, by the way. And I will read some of them out for you just to get it. It's a bit like the 10 Commandments. You've got like, I have not closed my ears to truth. I have not committed adultery. I've not made anyone cry. I have not felt sorrow without reason. Kind of messed up on that the other day because I was very sorrowful. I have not caused disruption of peace. Kind of always a bit noisy. I have not worked evil. Definitely not. I have not used evil thoughts, words, or deeds. Absolutely not. I have not taken food from a child. Well, it depends how nice their burger is. In this house, it's free game. You know what I mean? I have not acted in insolence. I have not destroyed property belonging to God or goddess. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of making light fun of it, but that is the 42 commandments. So essentially, it's basically by living in your highest vibration, in the highest integrity of you. And that is how we move forward as star seeds, as basically bringers of the truth, landers of codes of the new way. We have to lead by example. So that's kind of where we're moving to, which is why the divine masculine and feminine is coming in, which is why it's so important to just be open and aware and acknowledge that final part of the goddess. But you know what? It might be the masculine as well. I don't want to just say it as Marie's gospel here. I mean, it could be, but it's just for me, it's the goddess. Put it this way, I have a chunk of energy, which is basically, or a chunk of my soul aspect, which is sitting somewhere, and I know it's time to bring her home. Okay. But the thing is, your power, your sacred sexuality has to, the energy of sexuality has to be connected with the heart. So if that's not in alignment, then that's where the power is. That's where the goddess power is. So just cancel out that masculine thing. Actually, I go back to my first answer. I do believe it's the divine feminine. So basically the divine feminine bringing in the energy, and that is connecting with the heart. That is your final reclamation of power. Now, the masculine can only activate when the goddess comes in her fullness. So yes, as I've talked myself round to an answer, go with that. So let me know how you feel about what I'm presenting, because as always with my videos, it's never, I never sort of say, this is how it is. This is a back and forth. We're all trying to figure this stuff out as we go. And, and we all have powerful codes and information within us that actually holds these answers. So this is my offering coming to the table. Please feel free to comment and just go, well, this is what I'm feeling, because then all of a sudden, energetically, we bring all these codes together and we unlock it as a community, which is why I love my YouTube channel, because this is what it's all about. Free discussion, open, because we all need our aha moments. So I'm just opening the portal to that, So Ma'at, truth, order, balance, justice, cosmic truth. Where are you out of alignment with that? And this last soul part, time to bring her home, And I'm going to be going into a ceremony on my own. I'm going to hold my own ceremony for me this week. So when I go in and I come out, I might have some big sharings for you. And I will share with you what I found. But for now, let this all digest, and have a fabulous day forward. And really, really thank you for finding yourself here. And thank you for listening, as always. So much love to you guys. Peace.